Hey guys, what is going on? I hope you're all having a great day today. Let's be honest, if you're a gamer, you're probably not, and that's because of all of the news that has come out recently about the gaming industry, and this is especially the case when we're talking about pricing specifically. Pricing in gaming right now it's just gone to shit. Let's be honest with ourselves. It is absolutely going down the toilet. And I wanted to get on here today and just make one of my old-fashioned style rant videos where I just ramble on into the mic for however long and just air out my frustrations. Alright, so, the pricing in the gaming industry, it's fucked. Where do I even begin? Let's start with the announcement of the Steam Machine. Well, more specifically, the announcement of the price of the Steam Machine. The Steam Machine here in Canada is $1,509, and that is just for the base Steam Machine that does not even come with a fucking controller. I made a lot of videos in the past where I was very positive about the Steam Machine, and I even defended it from another content creator and said that we should wait until the actual price came out before we casted judgment on the thing. Going back to that video now that we know the actual price, I kind of feel like a fucking moron, I'm gonna be honest. Dude, it just didn't age well. That video did not age well. The only people I can see buying the Steam Machine are A, people who will just buy anything with a Valve logo on it, or B, people who just have a shit ton of money and will just buy anything gaming related. I can't really see any world where someone who is primarily a console gamer can justify this kind of price to practically play something like a console with a few added benefits. And this is only taking into account the lowest end model. If you take a look at the other models, they are extremely expensive, and I'm not even going to bother going over them because I know none of you guys in the audience are ever even considering buying this. Deep down, this really does pain me because I really wanted to see a world where console gamers had the option for something like a console with access to things like mods. Unfortunate, man. That's about all I have left to say about the situation regarding the Steam Machine. Anyway, on to the next topic. The next topic that we're going to talk about in today's video is the Steam Deck. Valve is taking 2 L's in today's video. The Steam Deck got a price increase, and it wasn't a small one. You can see right here, earlier this year, it wasn't too long ago, but Valve went ahead and updated the prices of the Steam Decks. The 512GB OLED went from $549 to $789, and the 1TB OLED went from $649 to $949. In Canadian prices, this is $1,129 for the 512GB OLED, and $1,349 for the 1TB OLED. The crazy thing to think about right now is it might actually be a better option, depending on whether you like Nintendo games or not at the moment, to go with a Switch 2 over a Steam Deck. I never thought that would be something that would come out of my mouth, but here we are, man. It's honestly pretty crazy to me that I'm saying this, because if you came up to me 1 year ago and you said, "Hey Sneaky, I really want to get a new handheld device. Should I go with the Valve Steam Deck or the Nintendo Switch 2?" I would have said, unless you are really interested in playing next-gen Nintendo games, the Steam Deck should be a no-brainer. But today, if you asked me that same question, honestly, I'd probably pick a Switch 2 over the Steam Deck at its current price. And even hearing that, phrase come out of my mouth is fucking shocking to me, honestly. I am so glad I decided to buy my Steam Deck in early 2023 for a much more reasonable price than it is currently priced at. Next up, I want to talk about Sony. Now, earlier this year, I made a separate video talking about a price increase that came to the PlayStation consoles. I just want to show a quick little clip from that video to show the price increase I'm talking about. The new retail console prices are as follows. For the US, the PS5 will be $649.99. For the PS5 Digital Edition, it will be $599.99. And for the PS5 Pro, it is $899.99. Jesus, man, that is insane. Anyway, for the UK, it will be $569.99 for the base PS5. For the PS5 Digital Edition, it will be $519.99. And for the PS5 Pro, it will be $789.99. For Europe, the base PS5 will be $649.99, the PS5 Digital Edition will be $599.99, and the PS5 Pro will be $899.99. For Japan, the base PS5 will be $97,980, for the PS5 Digital Edition it will be $89,980, and for the PS5 Pro it will be $137,980. Not too long after I made this video complaining about the price increase on the PlayStation consoles, PlayStation went ahead and did a little mini price increase to the price of PlayStation Plus. Now, I understand that PlayStation Plus is ultimately optional, but let's be realistic here. If you're somebody who's going out and buying a PlayStation console to play games, there is a very fucking high likelihood that some of the games that you play are multiplayer. So for me, when I think of the price of console gaming, I usually add in the price of online to the overall cost. You can see right now I have a tweet by PlayStation put up on the screen, which is basically them just outlining the changes they are making to PlayStation Plus. Now, this price increase wasn't really a substantial one, but the fact that they did a price increase in general after doing a massive price increase to the console is the reason why I chose to include this little price increase in the video. It was just a huge slap in the face. Like, you do a massive price increase on the consoles, which are already really expensive, and then it's like an extra kick to the balls, you do this. And I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys, I absolutely cannot stand price increases to paid online. Paid online shouldn't even fucking exist. Gaming is already expensive enough nowadays. Here in Canada, if you want to go ahead and just buy a PlayStation 5 Slim 1TB console, it's $819.99 plus tax. And then you buy a game like Battlefield 6. Usually if you buy a new game here in Canada, it's gonna cost you over $100 depending on where you live and what your tax rate is. And in that scenario where you go out and you spend $819.99 plus tax on a PlayStation 5 and over $100 after tax on a game, you still can't even really enjoy the game without paying for online. Here in Canada, and I know you might not like the fact that I'm saying that because you live in the US or whatever, but I'm using these prices because these are what the prices are for me. But here in Canada, it is over $100 fucking dollars a year to simply play the games you already paid for online. That is retarded. Speaking of retarded, let's get on to our next point. PlayStation is discontinuing physical media. So I decided to include this in a video talking about pricing for a very important reason that a lot of people really aren't considering. A lot of people have the mindset of, oh, I buy games digitally, I don't really care, this doesn't really have an effect on me. And if that's your mindset, whatever, I can't really change your mind, but I really think you should look at this from another perspective. Physical media can be a great way to make gaming more affordable for those people who either don't have a lot of money or just simply don't want to spend a lot of money on gaming. Because when it comes to physical media, you can buy games secondhand. You can buy games that are in like bargain bins at stores and stuff like that. And it isn't always up to the publisher what the price is. I want to take you guys on a little bit of a trip to the past here for a second. Do you guys all remember when Elden Ring came out and it was a massive success, and as a result, a bunch of people decided to go back to the old Souls games? Well, once that happened, the Dark Souls games didn't go on sale as much, and their sales weren't as good. But you know where you could still see all of those great sales on Souls games? Stores that sold physical copies of Dark Souls games. I saw games like Bloodborne in the bargain area of Walmart for $8 fucking, and that's $8 Canadian. And I saw games like Dark Souls 3 available to be bought secondhand on sites like eBay and Amazon for like $10. That's a sale you're not going to see online. So, once physical media disappears, and make no mistake, it will disappear on Xbox and Nintendo too if it's going on PlayStation, you will no longer have that option of looking elsewhere when the digital storefront option is too expensive. You will also no longer have the opportunity to play through something like a single-player story-focused game, and since it's something that you're not really going to replay most likely, you can't just give it to a friend anymore. You both have to go out and spend however much the developers want you to spend on it for the game. Another thing I want to say about digital media is, why the fuck are we paying the same amount of money for physical media as digital media? If anything, digital media should be cheaper as you are objectively getting a lesser product. With a digital game, you do not get a little booklet with it, you don't get a case, you don't get the option to resell the game, you don't get the option to give the game to a friend. So why is it the same price? Alright, we are about 12 minutes into the video right now, and I have spent about a half of that time talking about Sony alone, so we're gonna move on. I really don't want to take too long just talking about one company, so let's move on to Xbox. Now, when it comes to Xbox, I don't really have a whole lot to say. I mean, I just think the overall situation with Xbox is very depressing, and I think give it a few years, and they probably won't exist as a console manufacturer anymore. And that is something that really pains me to say, because growing up, I loved the Xbox 360. I loved the games, I loved the community, I loved the ecosystem, I loved the marketing, I loved everything about the 360, man. It's one of my all-time favorite consoles, and to see Xbox in the state that it's currently in it's kind of just soul-shattering, in all honesty. I really don't want to get too sidetracked here, so let's talk about the actual topic. Holy shit, this video is just a ramble fest. Anyway, Xbox is doing another price increase. Surprise, surprise. This is a paragraph from Xbox Wire. It says, effective August 1st, 2026, we will be updating prices worldwide. The price of Xbox consoles will increase by $100 for 512GB models and $150 for 1TB models. We will also be sunsetting our 2TB model. I don't really see Xbox sticking around for much longer. I mean, can you really afford to do this price increase when you've already done one very recently and you're losing this badly to the PlayStation 5? What else is there even to say about the state of Xbox right now and the price of Xbox? It's been too high forever. Anyway, let's just go ahead and talk about our final subject in today's video before I go ahead and just give some closing thoughts. The final subject is Nintendo, and I don't really have much to say about Nintendo besides the fact that they did a price increase. Now, this price increase was not too drastic. I still think the price of the Switch 2 is a little bit high. But the funny thing is, if you actually take a look at the Switch 2 right now, it's the most affordable next-gen console. As you can see right here, it says, starting September 1st, 2026, The MSRP for the Nintendo Switch 2 in Canada will increase to $679.99 Canadian, up from $629.99 Canadian. This $50 increase is part of a broader global price hike affecting the US, raising to $499.99, and Europe $499.99. While the Switch 2 is currently the most affordable next-gen console, I do think this price is a little high for what you're getting. Anyway, to wrap this video up, all I have left to say is it's never been a better time to go ahead and buy a entry-level PC off of Marketplace or something, or build a cheaper PC and go back and play older games. It's never been a better time to pirate, in all honesty. It's never been a better time to go back to the past, because the future of gaming is looking pretty grim, I gotta be honest with you. It's never been a better time to go ahead and buy an Xbox 360 and get some cheap used games and play through those. I really don't have anything else to say. I hope you enjoyed this very long, very rambly video where I just aired out some grievances with the gaming industry over recent price increases. If you did, a like would be greatly appreciated, and so would a sub. If you didn't like today's video, you can go ahead and leave a dislike and a mean comment. And I'm out.